it's Thomasina. Welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be answering one of my most asked questions from aspiring models, and that is, how do you tell if an agency is legit or not? As you guys know, the internet is a wild place full of scam artists. In this video I'm going to give you 5 ways to quickly assess whether or not an agency is legit, whether or not an agency is real, whether or not this agency is just trying to scam you. So the number one way to determine if an agency is legit is to see if they are listed on models.com. Every agency listed on models.com is legitimate, it's verified, they can vouch for them. Now, is every agency that's listed on model.com a good agency? That's debatable. A good experience with an agency is subjective. Everybody's experience with an agency is going to be different, but just know if you do find an agency that is listed on models.com, it is not a scam, it is a legit agency. Whether or not you're going to have a good experience with that agency is a whole other conversation, but if you see them on models.com, then you know they are a legitimate agency and you don't really have to do a deep dive to figure out if they're a scam or not. Now, with that being said, the agency directory on models.com is not all-inclusive. It does not include every agency in the entire world. The second way to tell if an agency is legit is if they're communicating to you via a legitimate domain. So for example, I'm signed to Wilhelmina Models. So if I get any communication from Wilhelmina Models, the domain is going to say, it's going to be from their website. So if they send me an email, it's going to be like john@wilhelminamodels.com. So I see that at wilhelminamodels.com and I know, okay, this is coming internally from the agency. I know this is an actual person that works from an agency. Now you have to be careful because some scam artists will use the Wilhelmina domain, but they'll change something minor that you might not recognize. So maybe it'll be john@wilhelmina.com, but the Wilhelmina has 2 I's in it. Wilhelmina. So they're gonna change something slight that like the average eye might overlook because they're so excited they just got an email from Wilhelmina Models, they don't even notice that Wilhelmina is misspelled. So you want to make sure any communication that you're getting from an agency is coming directly from the domain of that agency's website. So whether you're with One Management, Wilhelmina Models, IMG Models, it's gonna be at img.com, at wilhelmina.com, at onemanagement.com. So you definitely want to be reading those domains to make sure it's spelled correctly and everything looks good. Now, if they're an individual agent that just happens to slide in your DMs on Instagram, or they're communicating with you in another method outside of email communication, you kind of just want to do a deep dive on their Instagram. Are they following this agency, the real agency's Instagram account? Is that agency following them? For the most part, if I am an agent at an agency, that main agency Instagram account is going to be following me because I'm an agent there. So let's say John is telling you that he's an agent at Wilhelmina Models and he found your Instagram and he slides in your DMs and he's like, oh my gosh, I love your look, you're so beautiful, Wilhelmina would love to sign you and offer you a contract. And he's saying he's an agent at Wilhelmina. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Wilhelmina's main massive Instagram account and see if they're following John. And then I'm going to go to John's Instagram account and see if he's following Wilhelmina. Then I'm going to kind of look at the people that John is following. Are they like random Instagram bots from like Bangladesh and like Dubai and Turkey and all these other random places? Is there any kind of cohesiveness to the people that he is following and to the people that are following him? Does it look like this account was created yesterday? To make it easier on yourselves, you could just say, oh my gosh, thank you for reaching out. I would love to get in contact with you. Is there an email that I could message you on or that I could send my digitals to? And if they cannot provide, again, a legitimate email with that agency domain, you know they are playing you, they are trying to scam you. Red flags all across the board, just block and delete. Another thing to look out for to determine if an agency is legit or not, this is all within the realm of communication, so we're still on number 2, all within the realm of communication. Let's say you do have someone that reaches out and they're saying that they're from a reputable agency like Wilhelmina. A lot of the scam emails will have a lot of grammatical errors, a lot of misspellings, weird punctuations, just weird phrases that you wouldn't normally see in like modern English. The third way to tell if an agency is legit or not is to go to their Instagram account, go to their social media pages. Every agency, every reputable agency is going to be posting the models that they represent on their Instagram page. So for example, I'm with Wilhelmina. Let's say I book a really amazing campaign with like Chanel Beauty or something. Wilhelmina Models is going to post my ad on their Instagram page and tag me and say, oh, our latest face, Thomasina, just shot this campaign with Chanel Beauty. Like, check it out. She's beautiful, blah, blah, blah. If you guys go to these agencies' Instagram pages, they are always posting their models and typically tagging their models. Not every agency tags their models, but most of them do. So let's say you're doing your research, you get some communication from an agent at, let's say, Red Models. The domain checks out. It comes from a john@redmodels.com. That seems legit. There are no major red flags that are standing out to you yet. So you want to do a deep dive on their Instagram account. Are they posting their models? If they're posting their models, are they tagging their models? If they're tagging their models, go to the models page. Does the model include that agency in their bio? Because what's happening with these scams, they're getting really good where they will create an entire agency, right? The agency will have a website, therefore the agency will have a website domain, they'll have email addresses coming from this website domain, and they'll have social media accounts. But what they'll do is they will steal images of models from other agencies and other advertisements and post them on their Instagram account as if they are representing that model when really they have no connection to the model. So for example, I'm just using Red Models as an example. I do believe there is an actual agency called Red Models, but for the sake of this video, this is just pretend, okay? So let's say in real life, I'm represented by Wilhelmina Models, but there's this agency, Red Models, that is trying to scam aspiring models out of money, maybe out of images, whatever. They're trying to scam you. They are not a real agency that is like actually booking models' work, but they see my advertisements everywhere, so they take my face, they take my photos, and put it on their Instagram account, and they will say something like, oh, our newest face, Thomasina, just booked this Chanel Beauty campaign, but they won't tag me, right? Because if they tag me, then I'll see it and I'll say, hey, I'm not represented by you. You're not my agency. You guys didn't get me that job. Why are you using my photos? So if you find an agency's Instagram account and they're posting all these models and none of the models are tagged, that should raise a little red flag, right? And if the models are tagged, you want to check, are the models following this agency's account? Because I don't know any models that aren't following the agency that they're represented by. If they're not following the agency that they're represented by, it's a little shady. And then from there, the fourth way to determine if an agency is legit is to just ask a model that you know is supposed to be represented by them. So say for instance, you get a message from john@wilhelmina.com, just for example, just giving an example. You get a message from john@wilhelmina.com, you've done all your research, and for some reason you're still a little hesitant on whether or not the agency is legit. Go to Wilhelmina's Instagram page, see the models that they tag. If you see my face and they tag Thomasina, you're gonna go to Thomasina's Instagram page. If you see that I have Wilhelmina in my bio, then you can say, okay, this seems legit. If I don't have Wilhelmina in my bio, literally just slide in that model's DMs like, hey, I got outreach from such and such at Wilhelmina, and I'm just curious if this agency is legit or not. I'm doing a little research. I'd like to do a research on all the agencies I'm interested in and all the agencies that express interest in me. So would you mind if I ask, like, you know, is this agency legit? A lot of this stuff is kind of, I would have thought it was common knowledge, but a lot of people are just so excited to become models that they will accept messages from any and everyone in hopes of getting an opportunity in this industry. And I definitely don't want you guys to fall victim to all of the scams out there just because you're so excited for the possibility of becoming a model. I promise you, if this career is for you, what is for you is for you, and you don't have to rush into it. You still want to be very diligent. and just smart. You want to play your cards smart. And the fifth way to tell if an agency is legit or not is if they do not ask you for any kind of upfront fee. Let me tell you guys this, a legitimate agency is not going to ask you for money to be signed to them. You should not be giving money to an agency in order to be represented. That is not what agencies are for. Agencies work for you as the model. I have to say this 5,000 times because I can't tell you how many DMs I get from usually girls asking, oh, this agency wants to charge me this much to sign with them. I'm like, what are you paying for, babes? There are some agencies who may want you to develop a portfolio before representing you, or they may want you to immediately develop a portfolio after signing you, but you are not paying the agency necessarily for those images and for those photo shoots. You're going to be paying a photographer for the test shoot, right? So some agencies will pay for your test shoots up front, right? In hopes that when we get those images back, those images will book you work, and then they will basically pay themselves back for the money they lent you to get those photos taken in the first place. So I know I just said a mouthful, so let's recap those 5 ways to tell if an agency is legit or not. Number 1, just checking the models.com directory. Again, that list is not all inclusive, but you know if you see an agency on that list, it is legitimate. Whether or not it's going to be a good agency for you, that's a story for another day, but if it's on that list, it is a legit agency. Number 2, just keeping track of their communication. Are the emails coming from an actual domain? Do they have a website with an actual domain? Is their Instagram account legit? Are they following the agency? Is the account coming from directly from the agency? Is the communication grammatically correct? Really just want to pay attention to that communication, where it's coming from, how it reads, does it make sense? The third way to tell if an agency is legitimate or not is to see how they're connecting with their models on social media. Are they tagging all of their models? Are they following their models? Are their models following them? Do their models have the agency listed in their bio? Number 4, super simple way to tell if an agency is legit or not is just ask the models that the agency represents. And the 5th way, like we just covered, you can tell if an agency is legit if they do not ask you for an upfront fee for representation. That is just not a thing. Should not be doing it. Red flag. So I hope you guys found this video helpful, and I hope it will decrease the amount of DMs I get asking me this question. If I get any more, I'm literally just going to send you the link to this video. If anyone you know has the same question, just send them the link to this video, and hopefully that should alleviate any more questions they have about the legitimacy of the agencies that maybe they're talking to, or maybe are reaching out to them. If you have any more specific questions about how to get into the modeling industry, how to make yourself more marketable, the ins and outs of the industry and working with agencies and clients, just comment down below. I don't know what you don't know unless you ask me, and I'm here to help. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye! 'Cause I'm not just a pretty girl, I'm more